Welcome back to Budget Wargamer, and we're kind of talk about all things war games. You know, not just one type in particular. One thing I have a real passion for is cheap war games, ones that you can pick up and not really break the bank with. Not something like when you're going through and you're buying out some Forge World minis or hordes and hordes of Warhammer stuff. You know, collecting through the years, but. Let's talk about tanks. In particular, we've got the Cromwell Tank Expansion. This is for the British. One of the factions that's not included in the starter set. You know, what the starter set comes Panther versus Sherman, so German versus US. But the British have some really cool rules. One of the cool ones is that all their tanks are fast. They've also got some rules for staying stationary and re-rolling some fire dice. And just overall really high initiative in the shooting phase and in the movement phase for their tanks. Just makes them kind of outmaneuver and outgun some of the vehicles in the game. Cromwell in particular is one of my favorites. I picked up my 100-point list, includes 4 of them total, so $40 total gives you an entire army. Because it's $10 per tank. Real quick draw into the game. Another thing I picked up, an accessory, really neat, are the British dice. So on the 6 side, in case you're wondering, it's the 6, not the 1. So you'll actually enjoy seeing your faction symbol. They've got some that's kind of like off-center, but it's got the British symbol there. Pick those up at Imperial Outpost Games for $5. I think I've seen them online for $4, but $5 I believe is the going retail. I emptied the box because it's hard to open. These aren't fully sealed clamshells that you have to cut, kind of like Warlord games. But so that's the tanks, Cromwell. Inside that box, you're going to pick up some cards. And the stats for the basic Cromwell are 23 points. It's fast with semi-indirect fire. Semi-indirect fire is that British rule I was telling you about. And it can take 4 crew. So being fast, it can make up to 3 moves. And then the semi-indirect fire allows the player may choose to keep one of the die results and re-roll the rest when shooting while stationary with this tank. So you only have got 4 firepower with the tank. That's moderate, but you're going to be able to roll the dice. And then when you want to re-roll, if you're stationary, you could save one. So save like your 6 or what have you. And then re-roll the rest so you guarantee that one of them that you've got is going to be a hit, and hopefully the rest of them will. It's got on its damage track 5 damage. And this is one of the real clinchers, 8 for its initiative. I believe that's what they call it in the game. So the higher the number, the later you get to move. So you get to see your opponent make all their moves first, and then you get to do your moves. And then when it comes to shooting, you get to shoot first. So that's a real big key. And then there's some other equipment that come in here with the Cromwell. So you've got different types of ammunition, armor, loaders, and special. Every tank comes with usually a unique type of special character. Now on to the important part. We've got the model, and then if you need the instructions, they're kind enough to print the assembly instructions here. Battlefront gave you the instructions for these Flames of War scale tanks. If you've got Flames of War tanks, go ahead and use them. You're just going to be short on the cards, which I don't know if there's any rules for whether you have to have the official cards to play the game in a tournament setting or what have you, but I've actually never seen a tanks tournament. It's been more of a friendly skirmish type of game. So here we've got highly detailed tanks. Full, ABS style plastic. I'd still recommend using super glue. I haven't tried with this type of plastic using plastic cement, even though I really love plastic cement on the GW minis. And then you end up with a couple different options. Typically with most of these tanks, looks like a short barrel, long barrel, and I don't know what difference that makes. Doesn't make any difference in this game, but maybe later versions of the tank had something different. And unlike the Sherman in the Panther kit, the Sherman kit, you get like 3 different variations of the Sherman. In the Panther kit, you can make the Jag Panther, or you can make just regular Panther. It looks like the Cromwell kit, you pretty much just get to make the Cromwell. No alternatives other than just, different types of barrels for whatever that means. I don't know why that one's so big, kind of like a howitzer barrel. Really simple to put together. They end up being quite small, the 15 mil minis, just like 2 1/4 inches in length, and then just barely more than 1 inch wide for this type of tank. There's no infantry in the game. There are some vehicles that aren't tanks, you know, like the Puma and some oddballs like that, and they'll probably come out with more of those, but really cool kit. And that is the Galeforce 9, which is a division of Battlefront. It's their game Tanks, and these are the British Cromwells.